has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seat of a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion check out. Oh shit, do bet. Oh, woo, woo. Along with the Tutty and Tater King himself. The founder of the Aisle Seat podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, the Put Up with a Golf Guru. On a Golf Wednesday, Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia is running it along with Luke Hamilton. The rundown is a rap sheet of guests today, including a double shot with Morency this very hour from British Columbia. In the second hour, Cam Stewart live from Toronto, and Renee Washington from Front Office Sports, which you see every day at 6 Eastern here on SportsGrid. And then in the final hour, the coup de grace, your boy, Smiley Kaufman from the Smiley Show on SportsGrid, and a double shot with the one and only Stewie Keith Stewart from Read the Line. They're getting ready for the Rocket Mortgage in Detroit Rock City starting tomorrow. Didn't Finau win it and now he's not there? What happened to him?
He won it a couple years ago. Finau won it. I forget. I think it was about three years ago at this point was when Tony
Time
won.
flies.
And then he's out. Indeed it is. Happy Wednesday, a golf Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
On C2C. And, of course, the NBA draft.
Yes, sir.
Opening round this evening, too. Before we get there, we do have some afternoon action going on as well, including the big pitching matchup in Milwaukee today with Paul Skeens and Mizorowski going mano a mano. Well, the Brewers, Scotty, jumped out on Skeens. 4 runs in the second. They have a 4-0 lead. Bottom of the third inning now in Milwaukee. Meanwhile, Mizorowski is through 3, no hits, 5 Ks, and he's making the Pirates look like the Pirates, I guess you could say.
So I bet Mizorowski this morning at minus $1.11. Documented. I did it on, first thing this morning, and I did it on my site. I did it on a ticket for myself. I actually bet Mizorowski because he's been unbelievable. He's giving up no hits. He's striking guys out. His ERA is ridiculous. He is the new phenom pitcher of the Brewers who throws 100-mile-an-hour gas. He looks fantastic today. Skeens got torched in the second. Yelich was in on it with an RBI. Everybody drove one in. 4-0. So I bet the Brewers today over the Pirates. And here's why. Because I think Paul Skeens is undeniably one of the best pitchers in baseball. The problem is every time he pitches, the Pirates never score any runs for him, and he never gets a win. They never win. I mean, at best, it gets to the, bullpen and, somehow they are in a game. It's like Helen Keller, Haney, and Skeens have this unbelievable ERA between the three of them combined, right? But none of them win. Helen Keller's 1-10. Haney got lit last night, 9-3. Skeens never wins. I mean, when is the last time Skeens won a game? Like his 13th birthday? I don't know when he wins, which is never. He never wins. So that's why I bet the Brewers today. And I'm not done there. I bet a bunch of games today. Now that everything else is over, hockey and, basketball and everything else, I am diving in with Carver High's taters, and I'm betting baseball out the yin.
Well, that's what we have here on the horizon for the next few weeks. as we get ready for football to come back, and that is okay. We're going to be just fine. Taters and golf here for the next few weeks. The other game that's currently in progress, the Diamondbacks and the White Sox, end of 3. They go to the top of the 4th, 2-2.
Whoa.
2-run homer from Josh Naylor in the first inning for Arizona. Benintendi has a homer for the White Sox as they now move on to the 4th gallon of milk going today for the Snakes. 2 other games that will start about an hour from now on our afternoon slate. Just 4 games. The Red Sox and the Angels will finish their series in Anaheim. Richard Fitz against our old buddy Kikuchi going this afternoon. Minus 130 for Anaheim, plus $110 for Boston, and an 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess, it'll be Fitt's second career start against the Angels. His first one, he took the loss when LA beat him 7-6 on June 2nd. The Angels hit 3 home runs during a 6-run first inning that night and lit him up. And I say they get the sweep today. I got him at minus $129. Kikuchi, excuse me. He just has better numbers. Fitz gets torched. Kikuchi and the Angels. We saw this yesterday, right? Did we not see the Angels are making people money? Did we not talk about this yesterday? And they won the first 2 of the series. Going for the sweep today in Anaheim. I say they get it.
And the other game, which will start at the top of the next hour, is the Nats and the Padres in San Diego. Mackenzie Gore and Nick Pivetta this afternoon. Good pitching matchup. Minus 145 for the Friars, plus 120 for the Nats, and a 7.5.
Okay, so Nick Pivetta is going for the Padres today, and I like him, actually. Pivetta is on the mound. He took a no decision Friday night when they lost to Kansas City. He only went 4 2/3. He hasn't lost this year at Petco. That's where they are today. But he's done terribly against the Nats in his career. 1-7 with a 9.4 ERA in 43 innings, 13 appearances, 10 of them starts. He never pitches well against the Nats. So you can just smell the Wood Doctor and Bell licking their chops and bubblegum in the clubhouse right now, getting ready for Pivetta. I still like the Padres today over the Nats.
Yep. Look, and Gore's been excellent too as well for the Nationals. There's no doubt about that. Despite
he
being
strikes
3-7,
guys out, he doesn't win.
Yeah, he's got a ERA on the 3s. He's been pretty good. He doesn't win games though. He's kind of got a little bit of a Skeens problem in that they really don't score whenever he pitches as well. So there you go, all your afternoon action. And we
Mike,
have the NBA.
One other thing, Mike. I think it's worth looking at. The run line is plus 155 if the Padres could win by 2. I kind of like that too. I mean,
Okay.
$142 laying it is, I don't really like going that high, to be honest with you. I think it's, for me, I like the Padres on their run line even.
Okay. Of course, the NBA draft, round number 1 tonight. We know kind of the first 2 spots seem pretty known, right? We know it's going to be Cooper Flagg to Dallas. We're pretty sure it's going to be Dylan Harper to San Antonio. And then after that, who knows? You've seen a lot of different mocks and speculation throughout the day. Of course, we'll have it covered here, Scotty, on SportsGrid all night long. See a lot of trade rumors, too. Of course, Boston dealt the zinger last night. Talk about them making moves. Should be a fun day and night.
I mean, honestly, it's like going from the penthouse to the outhouse for the zinger. Porzingis to Atlanta is like going to federal prison. It really is. I think that he's going to be miserable there, and I think it's going to help him push his way out the door in his career.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Dialing it back to his old days with St. Louis and Arizona. Buy or sell, Goldie will finish top 7 in fantasy first baseman.
No, I'm going to say no. I think he'll fall off. Older player here, he'll be top 10, but not top 7 here. Top 10, I would say, yeah, I'd buy it. Top 7, I'm going to say no here. I think he'll put up decent numbers here. Not as good as he was. I don't think he's going to bat 340, 350 all year long.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I'm with you in that you're going to have to take calculated risks. And that's what Leon Rose has been about since he's been here. And he's been measured. He hasn't been gung-ho in terms of mortgaging this franchise's future for immediate gains. They have had a prudent approach, and you're going to have to roll the dice in certain respects to get to that top level. And you're right, Donnie, when you look at next season, all things considered, you hope that they're healthy, and if they roll over, say, 85 to 90% of this roster, this is a top 3 team in the East. With Boston coming down, Milwaukee is going to come down, and so you have to figure it's going to be Indiana, the Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers in some sort of order in the preseason rankings. And so where they go from here, Jason Kidd is obviously the hot name right now. Both sides are interested from what we've heard in terms of Kidd and the New York Knicks. Is he that championship caliber coach to take the Knicks there?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every 5 days, it's really exciting when Skeens pitches, and it's terrible watching him pitch because every time he pitches, they don't score.
Having him hit the lineup probably would actually help when he pitches. There's no way to do it because you can't, but yeah, it's beyond frustrating. And the numbers will tell you, the books have adjusted.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Sports Rage, weeknight 10 Eastern on all of our TV and radio outlets. We get Morency for a double shot every day from Vancouver. Couple things I want to do with you. Let's start with Evander Kane. He got traded there, right, to the Canucks, and he said goodbye to Edmonton already.
And all hell is broken loose in Vancouver. You figure Vancouver Canuck fans would say, all right, you know what? He's from Vancouver. You have a hometown kid coming back to play for his hometown team. But the media here is so toxic. And, oh, Evander Kane, I hate Evander Kane. Oh, he's a cancer in the locker room. And I swear to God, Scott, you would think that this dude has had sex with every Canucks fan's mother and sister. like the level of, like, just sort of, I guess you could say, like, passion, but, like, just sort of, like, rage and bitchiness and, oh, I wanted to sign this guy and that guy. Well, newsflash. You know what? Connor McDavid's not signing with the Vancouver Canucks next year. Right? Like Vancouver, like they live in this delusional land of let's get that guy and this guy.
Yeah, never.
And you haven't had that guy since Pavel Bure, so shut up, right? So it's unbelievable. I swear to God, though, Scott, there's a lot of talk about the taxes all the time. And there's something to be talked about. 5 of the last 6 Stanley Cup champions are from tax-free states. It's undisputable. It's a fact. But another reason why players don't play in Canada is because fans are effing insane. So a good example is, and, God bless them, Scott, whatever. They know their market better than me, but there's like a local sports show in Vancouver, and it's 365 Canucks. Like just like constant. So Evander Kane, the guy, Scott, he got traded hours ago, Scott. They had this big thing. Is he a cancer in the locker room? He's never been in the room. He hasn't played a game yet, right, for the Canucks. But they've already judged that he's toxic, right? Is he controversial? Yes. Toxic is a pretty strong
Nobody
word.
ever said one bad word about him in Edmonton playing with the Oilers that played on that team.
McDavid
no,
and Leo,
he
he played on a line with them, and they loved him.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid loved him. Scott, people think, like, is he like, dude, he's a sandpaper guy. He marches to his own drum. He's like a football player in a hockey
wrong? What's wrong with these people?
I know. Oh, he gambles. Oh, he had a divorce.
So
oh,
what?
God. Oh, God. Oh, he's toxic. Oh, he got divorced. Oh, my God.
Are you serious?
You know, these people are insane. They're insane. Yeah, he racked up a bunch of debt. He's a big gambler. Okay, he plays blackjack. Who cares? He's a good hockey player. Like, you know what I mean? He's not dating your sister, people. Like, you know, so my point is, this is why players, if Evander Kane, guys, gets traded from the Edmonton Oilers today for a fourth-round pick with nothing in the NHL, you get traded for a fourth-round pick to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. You think Vegas Golden Knight fans are enraged this morning? If he gets traded to the St. Louis Blues, they're like, hey, look, we got Evander Kane. In Canada, it's how much money does he make? Oh, I met him at a bar once and he wasn't nice to me. Oh, he beat my friend up in a bar fight years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's in Canada, like, they know everything. It's like, it's insane, Scott. So, like, it's toxic. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, like, if you're like, you're on the Florida Panthers, bro, okay? You're Sam Bennett. You're making $8 million a year. Now he's going to make more. All right, so you're Sam Bennett. Let's say you're making $10 million a year. Sam Bennett doesn't score much during the regular season and stuff. If Sam Bennett was on the Toronto Maple Leafs, they'd rip him all year. He's overpaid. What are we paying him $10 million for? I'm telling you, it's effing toxic playing for a Canadian hockey team. The fans are losers. They have nothing else going on in their lives, Scott. You know what I mean? Some of them are like CFL fans and stuff, but like, imagine like a college, like, I'm being real today, like you. Let's just, screw everybody. But, think about it. You're living in Calgary, Alberta. What the hell do you have going on besides the Calgary Flames? So all you do all day is just bitch about the Calgary Flames all day. Right? People in Vancouver, there ain't no baseball team here. There's no basketball team here. So all you got is the BC Lions and a Whitecap. So people just bitch about the Canucks all year.
Wait. So rank the worst to the best of, like, because you're saying that they're all crazy. So what's the worst? Is it Toronto? Give me the pecking order of the worst, which would be the best. In other words, who suffers the most in which market? It has to be Toronto.
Montreal is the best, Scott, in which they'll call you out. They'll call you out for making a mistake on the ice and, hey, you got to do better, right? Like the fan base, but extremely supportive, actually, as a whole. Like the Canadian fans take it like sort of like I do with the Buffalo Bills. You know what I mean? A good example is like Aaron Rodgers. You don't like Aaron Rodgers. I know you don't like Aaron Rodgers, but he's a Steeler now. He's a Steeler now. So it's like, all right,
this year.
I'm going to put everything aside. You're on our team now. That's the way the Canadians look at it. Like, yeah, he's struggling, but he's one of ours. He's a Montreal Canadian player, and we support him until he's not here, and then we'll boo him when he comes back. But it's more that positive support. A good example, Scott, is the NHL Players Association. They have like a player survey, okay, like an internal thing. And it's basically you report at the end of the year. So what's it like playing for the New York Islanders? Well, the traffic sucks. The arena's cool. Traffic sucks. Owner this. And it's basically so the free agents know. It's like a database. So they can look and go, are the schools close to the arena? Blah, blah. Are the bars good? Like, what are the fans like? Vancouver gets high marks from players. They're like, beautiful city. They're like, it's really fun to play there. When things are going well, people are really into it. And then there was a thing about media, super annoying and smug, fan base. And it said, specifically in the NHLPA, it said, if you're a social media guy, Vancouver's not the place for you. The fans are super annoying. That was the NHLPA, right? So every city has is different. But
what about Toronto?
Toronto's tough but fair. Toronto's tough. They put you on a pedestal in Toronto, and then they'll sort of knock you down. Edmonton is bad, Scott, because you're a real fishbowl. Connor McDavid is the biggest player in the league, and imagine you're in a small city like Edmonton. Like this guy can't cross the street without people like knowing.
I'm afraid to ask him about Ottawa and Winnipeg.
I can't even believe I'm saying pitcher's battle and using the words Patrick Corbin. But can I tell you, Scott, he's a different guy. He's a totally different guy with the Rangers than we've seen.
I say this all the time. Don't worry about the first 5 innings. Like, don't even watch the first 5 innings in Texas Ranger games. Because for whatever reason, there's a ton of runs scored in the first 5, and then it just stops. It just stops.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
No way that I'm betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers for any reason whatsoever.
No.
Ever. Like, when they had LeBron James, it was a different story. I think Spider's great. He's no LeBron. I don't see him carrying them to a title. And I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks never get it done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not to go to an organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course and okay, safe, right?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
So I went to Ottawa and I did a game and a couple of things. One, I did like whatever. I was having lunch or something, and I was having a beer and I was sitting there eating, and I looked out the window and I was sitting right on the window, and I looked out and I saw like hundreds of kids skating down this canal, and I was like to the waiter, what in the hell is happening here? And he said every day they skate to and from school down the canal. There's a canal that runs right through the middle of town. And then I did a show. I had friends that did a show in Ottawa, and I went to do this show one night. And I think at the time, I had been on Ferrall on the Bench nationally, and so they had a party for me, and they brought in lobster and crab legs, and I'm in there just snapping off crab legs and eating lobster in Ottawa. And then the next night I went to the Parliament. They took the whole team to dinner at that's the capital of Canada, and they have the Parliament there, and the Prime Minister is actually there, and they had us there for dinner in this like stateroom with like this table like the length of a football field, and the entire team and this Prime Minister had us for dinner. And I was like, banging elbows with politicians in Canada and eating prime rib. I had the best time in Ottawa ever. And I told you I used to buy suits in Edmonton. You get like 4 suits for the price of 1 compared to New York. And then my biggest thrill was calling games at the Foster Hewitt broadcast booth in Toronto and in the Bell Center. For me, that was like hockey heaven. And at the time, I hadn't gone to the Hall of Fame until I got that job. So I went to the Hall of Fame, and I was like, at one point I looked over at my buddy. I go, is this a mall or something?
Yeah, it's next to a Tim Hortons.
I go, it's
like the same.
Are we in a mall?
The same thing, Scott. The first time I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, I'm like, I think I'm lost. And I remember, too, I was kind of drunk. Like I was hungover, so I drank. I don't know, went to a Blue Jay game the night before or something. And like I remember, it was sort of like in a daze. I had a few in the afternoon, and I'm like, And I'm like, Hockey Hall of Fame, and I'm going down, and I see like Tim Hortons Donuts at like a suit store and stuff.
There's a hat store.
I'm like, yeah, I remember. I'm like, I think I took the wrong escalator or something, man. I'm looking around. I see, no, there's the Hockey Hall of Fame. I'm like, it blew my mind too. I'm like, it's in a food court. Like, how does this make sense? Like, it's like Chinese food, Tim Hortons Donuts, Hockey Hall of Fame. And you open this door and you go in and you're like, oh, okay. Like, it's the weird, but outside it looks beautiful. Like, it's in this historic, building and stuff.
Historic building, and there's all kinds of statues out there, and it's really cool. It's really cool until you actually go into it, actually. I think it's bunk. I thought it was weak.
Hey, speaking of which,
it was terrible is what it was.
Quick thing about Ottawa. See, Ottawa's a tough spot. It's a small town. You get taxed. It's cold in the winter. But there's a lot of women there. And you'll notice players don't, complain. Like, there's not a lot of people, I got to get out of Ottawa. I can't take this. Like, guys aren't lining up to, it's not my first pick. But it's one of those towns, once you're there, like you were there, the food's really good. The women are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really close to Montreal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're close to everything. New York's like a 45-minute flight.
To Porzingis that he is going from Boston to federal prison in Atlanta?
Guy's always hurt, bro. You know what I mean? Like, he's just always hurt. I'm curious to see if they're really going to pull the trigger and trade Jaylen Brown now. Right? Like, that's the one. And I kind of wouldn't be surprised if they do. Just quick thing, Scott. Don Cherry did his last podcast, okay? Like, he got fired from TV. Well, taken off TV. He was like 88 years old. And he was losing. Yeah. So, and rightfully so. But he should be in the Hall of Fame, just for the record. There's a debate about this, and there's no reason why Don Cherry should not be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And for the draft tonight, Scott, we were talking about Malawak, the kid from Duke and stuff. And I think, I was thinking about the Raptors with him. But I'm hard on Asenge, the French kid. He plays in the German league. He's plus 300, everybody, to be drafted 9th overall by the Raptors. Noah Asenge, 18-year-old French kid, plays in the German Bundesliga already, pro basketball. 6'10". He checks all the boxes for what the Raptors are looking for. Plus 300. That's my draft bet of the night tonight.
Yeah, and I think Grapes should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame as well, undoubtedly. And obviously, at the end, it was a bad scene when they got rid of him and everything else. Let it blow over and put him in the Hall of Fame. That is ridiculous.
I can't even believe I'm saying pitcher's battle and using the words Patrick Corbin. But can I tell you, Scott, he's a different guy. He's a totally different guy with the Rangers than we've seen.
I say this all the time. Don't worry about the first 5 innings. Don't even watch the first 5 innings in Texas Ranger games. Because for whatever reason, there's a ton of runs scored in the first 5, and then it just stops. It just stops.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
No way that I'm betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers for any reason whatsoever.
No.
Ever. Like, when they had LeBron James, it was a different story. I think Spider's great. He's no LeBron. I don't see him carrying them to a title. And I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks never get it done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not to go to an organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course and okay, safe, right?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
right, Carver High, let's start diving into baseball.
Yeah, let's do that. Still 4-0 Brewers right now in the bottom of the fifth inning. The White Sox now have a 4-2 lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2-run homer from Lenyn Sosa in the fourth. So 4-2 White Sox there in Chicago over the Snakes. All right, let's do some stuff from last night. Braves beat the Mets 7-4. The Mets just simply cannot get out of their own way right now. They've lost 10 of their last 11. They're now 0-5 against the Braves. They had a 3-0 lead in this game, but then a 5-run sixth inning capped off by Matt Olson on FanDuel Sportsnet.
Olson, line drive, base hit out into right center. 2 will score. Atlanta has played it 5 in the 6th to grab the lead.
I mean, it is really unbelievable to me that a team as loaded as the Mets have lost 10 of 11. It really is.
Yeah, it's actually kind of hard to fathom that they both New York teams have just gone completely, really in the tank in the last 3 weeks. Both aren't playing well. The Yankees haven't been as bad as the Mets, but they ain't too far behind. With the way that they've been playing the last couple of weeks. They did get a good start out of Frankie Montas, his first start of the year. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs.
Did that surprise you after he gave up 50 runs in the minors?
Yes, that was very surprising. He left with a 3-0 lead, but then, of course, they couldn't finish the job. Let's hear from Francisco Lindor on the Mets' lack of success so far against the Braves.
Why have the Braves been so difficult for you this season?
I don't know. If I were to pinpoint something, they have outplayed us. They have played better defense, ran the bases better, they hit better. They did overall. They have done everything better than us. So, you got to tip your cap, but come back tomorrow and try to win.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, again, they're playing them tonight, and I just don't have any faith in the Mets. I don't care who's pitching. Like, aren't they going up against some guy like Fuentes or something?
Yeah.
Who are they? Like, who's pitching? Like, I could have sworn,
Clay
right?
Holmes.
Like, did I not?
Clay Holmes for the Mets tonight.
But Fuentes for Atlanta, I don't care who's pitching. They're not scoring. They have 10 of 11. My God, how many do they have to lose before I'm betting against them every night.
Got to go after them at this point. And part of the reason why they've had a slide, Pete Alonso the last 10 games, 205, 1 homer, 1 RBI. Now, to be fair, he carried them the first 2 months of the season. He was incredible in April and May. It started, the guy has a bad couple of weeks and the whole team craters. A little unfair. Where's everybody else, is what I would say.
You can't blame him. You can't blame him because you're right, he carried him. So now he's hit a wall. It's what happens in baseball. Judge is going through it a little bit right now, isn't he? I mean, he hit an upper deck the other night, but his numbers, remember, look at where he was. He was at 400, and look where he is now. And, he hasn't done, he hit that home run, but he really hasn't been hitting of late, to be honest. And, guys go through that. Like, what was he in the Boston series? He had one hit the whole series?
1 hit, and he had like 8 or 9 strikeouts. Something like that. He had just a miserable week. He's down to 364 after hanging around 400. For a little while there. So that's how bad of a stretch he's gotten into. Ronald Acuna Jr., 8th player to reach 200 career steals. 8th active player to reach 200 career steals. So nice job by Acuna.
I think he's the reason they're winning. I think he's the reason that they're hot.
Yeah.
I think he's the reason that they're kicking the Mets' ass. His numbers are staggering over the last 3-4 weeks. He's the reason, what, are they 4 under 500 now? They're right there. And I'm telling you, of all teams to keep an eye on the rest of the way, this is one of those. Do you remember when the Nats, when they won the World Series, they right at the All-Star break, they started winning. And then they never lost in the second half, and they won the title. The Braves have started winning I'd say over the last 2.5 weeks, they've started winning. And here they are. They're on the precipice of, I believe, going over 500 and getting back into it. Like, I think they have to play for a wild card, Mike. I don't see them doing, the East route. I think they're going to have to be a wild card. But all you have to do is get in. It doesn't matter if you're a wild card or you win the division. You got to just get into it.
He has definitely been the spark for them since he has come back over the last month. I'll give you those numbers later. I do have the wild card for you. The Diamondbacks and White Sox are playing now, obviously. I've given you the score a few times, still 4-2. Diamondbacks beat him last night 4-1. Did you see Ketel Marte crying there on the mound during one of the pitching changes late in the game? That all stemmed, Scotty, from some moron fan behind the dugout who decided to, I guess, give him the business about the passing of his mom in 2017, who died in a car accident. He was giving him the business, and that upset Marte. They did throw the fan out. In fact, they've thrown him out for good. He's been banned from not just White Sox games. Everywhere. Your man's been given the gate, too. Here is Torey Lovullo last night, the manager, on the very emotional scene.
We have to go to Ketel Marte. There was obviously a very emotional scene out there, and we know how close you are with him. What can you share with us?
It's just it was a terrible moment. Fans are nasty, and fans go too far sometimes. And I love my players, and I'm going to protect them.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, that was very emotional. Yeah, he's always had my back. I've always loved you, Coach. Anyway, here's the deal. How much of a jerkwad do you have to be in life? How much of a loser do you have to be that you're riding some guy that's a great player, that's mom died in a car wreck, and you think that's funny? And you're going to run with that? That's your calling card as a fan? You're a tool, and no one loves you. Your own family hates you. They have to. Anyone that would do something like that is the lowest form of scum on the earth. What is so funny about someone, you know what to me that is? Reverse, jinx. This guy thinks it's funny some guy's mom dies in a car wreck. Well, I hope your wife and kids die in a car wreck. How does that sound? Does that sound all right with you? Can you imagine someone doing that and thinking that they're not going to have some kind of karma? Like, who does that? Like, you go around telling people, hey, man, I saw your wife died. That's funny. Who does that? No one. Now, they've banned this guy from baseball. And, I'm hoping they ban him from, being a civilian. Like this guy, can you imagine this jerk showing up at the game and doing that and riding this guy? I'm surprised somebody didn't beat his ass right then and there in the seats. Like, it's just not cool. It's not funny. What kind of the lowest common denominator? And he's right, Lovullo. Fans are idiots. They really are. Like, when is the last time you watched an NFL game where you didn't see fights breaking out at the game, fist fights between fans of the same team, fist fights in the parking lot, fist fights in the seats, fist fights in the concourse? You can't go anywhere anymore in sports and be safe, ever. I do not believe you can be safe at any sporting event, anywhere, anytime, ever anymore. Especially if you wear like colors and team jerseys and stuff like that. You're just asking to get your ass beat.
I can't even believe I'm saying pitcher's battle and using the words Patrick Corbin. But can I tell you, Scotty, he's a different guy. He's a totally different guy with the Rangers than we've seen.
I say this all the time. Don't worry about the first 5 innings. Like, don't even watch the first 5 innings in Texas Ranger game. because for whatever reason, there's a ton of runs scored in the first 5, and then it just stops. It just stops.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
No way that I'm betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers for any reason whatsoever.
No.
Ever. Like, when they had LeBron James, it was a different story. I think Spider's great. He's no LeBron. I don't see him carrying them to a title. And I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks never get it done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not to go to an organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course and okay, safe, right?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
So, Carver, when you went to that golf tournament in Cromwell, how many people were out there? Do you feel like safe at even at a golf tournament? Like there's so many people. Like at the U.S. Open at Oakmont, there were so many people. At one point, I saw that crush of people where no one was moving, and there was like 30,000 people in one place, like trying to move and go in opposite directions. I'm going this way, this guy's going that way, and I was like, man, I do not want to be in that pile of people. Like, I just don't want to be around that many people. And nowadays, like at sporting events, crazy things happen. Like, it's not safe anymore. It really isn't. Like, these people, these crazy lunatics, they think, what a perfect place to kill a bunch of people at a sporting event with 55,000 people there. I mean, I'm telling you, look at Vegas at that concert, that guy in the, Let's face that. No one ever likes to talk about it, but Mandalay Bay, that guy just tranked out that window and he just started shooting people. It was like he was at a shooting gallery. There was 30,000 people down below him, and he was killing people left and right. I don't feel safe at sporting events anymore. I really don't. And like this guy last night at the game, like I'm surprised somebody didn't crank him just right then and there, just beat the crap out of him, because I've never seen anything like. When is the last time you looked on social media after a Sunday in the NFL and you didn't see like 40 fights? Like women, men, chicks pulling hair, smashing people's faces off seats, people getting shoved downstairs. I mean, I'm not even making this stuff up.
It's you really have to watch yourself wherever you go now. And I think that it extends to just about everywhere. To be quite honest,
were you safe at the golf tournament? You never once thought of it? Or?
Look, I think that, like I said, I think you have to be mindful now whenever you're anywhere that has a large amount of people. And even at the golf tournament, was it the first thing on my mind? No. Was it thought about at moments? Sure. You look around, what's going on? Okay, what's happening?
What was the first thing on your mind? Was it the golf store that you avoided the last 3 years, or was it a Bud Light? I mean, which one? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think the first thought on my mind was probably getting a drink, and then it was getting somewhere to bet on some guys, posting up at a spot to get some bets in. And by the way, that was the first and only time I'll ever go in that merchandise tent either. over there at the Travelers. I mean, it was like $118 for like a shirt. Like,
Of course.
Like
go to the
I mean,
Super
you gotta
Bowl's
be,
even worse.
you gotta
Like
be
a
kidding
T-shirt's
me.
$100.
$118 for a polo shirt. Like, get lost. I mean, I don't. You gotta
That's
be
bad.
kidding me. So get lost.
Last year was the first year that I blew off because I always go and buy a bunch of stuff at the Super Bowl, and it was the first time I didn't do it. A, everything was ugly. B, all the stuff kind of sucked. There was nothing that like stood out to me. And C, the cost is so absurd. No matter where you go, if you buy literally a hoodie's $175.
It's nuts. It's just and the quality of, like you say, there's not even good stuff.
It's trash. It's worth
anymore.
$30.
It's just not even good stuff, and they're overpricing it on you. All right. By the way, today was the shortest outing in Paul Skeen's career. He only went 4 innings, giving up the 4 hits and 4 runs. He only threw 78 pitches, but one of those innings, of course, he threw over 35 pitches. So I guess they felt he was
37.
heavily taxed in that inning. So the shortest outing of Skeen's career, and the Mizorowski, he went 5, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, no runs on the other side for the Brewers. Still 4-0 going to the 7th.
Now they're going to start saying Mizorowski's better than Skeens.
They probably will start saying that off of just today. Meanwhile, I'd like to see Skeens face the Pirate lineup. I'm sure he would like to face them once in a while too. It's too bad it's his own team.
He'd already have Nolan Ryan's no-hitter streak. He'd already have surpassed Nolan Ryan. If he pitched against the Pirates, he'd already have 8 no-hitters.
Let's try to rumble through a bunch of stuff from last night. All right, the Reds beat the Yankees 5-4 in 11 innings. Yankees had 3-0 lead in this game. Carlos Rodon was pitching well, but he's another one. Left the game at about 88 pitches. And then the Yankee bullpen was not able to do the job. The Reds ended up tying the game at 3. We go to extras. Here we go, bottom 11. Gavin Lux walking it off for the Reds on FanDuel Sportsnet.
Center field. Down for a hit. De La Cruz scores and the Reds win.
So yesterday, you remember, you convinced me, you and Luke convinced me, you said, they never do well against a guy when they face him for the first time. So I'm thinking this Chase Burns guy is the phenom, number 2 draft pick, and he throws gas. And so I bet it at plus 142, the Reds to win. And they were down 3-0 the whole game, and they won that game 5-4 and 11 on that Lux hit. And I cashed that ticket. So you and Luke convinced me to press it yesterday afternoon. I'm hoping that the two of you will combine again, combo meal style, on another press play for me today to make some money.
And
get him a
Burns,
dinner. Get Luke a dinner. Mafia, get the tequila.
Burns started really hot. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 8 Ks. 6 of those Ks were in the first 2 innings. He struck out the first 5 batters, so he came out with a lot of juice. But then the Yankees eventually did get to him after that. But it was a very impressive start for Burns, that's for sure, right out of the gate. Elsewhere last night, I'll save this one because I want to be able to ring the bell there. Rangers beat the Orioles 6-5 in 10 innings. Tigers beat the A's 11-4. I did tell you, Rooker, I didn't have the stones to play him myself, but I gave you all those great numbers that
right.
Rooker had against Skubal, and he hit in the first inning.
Why
he hit one off of Skubal. I don't like going after Skubal. I don't know. Even though he had great numbers, I didn't pull the trigger on it.
I bet it in the break after you told me his numbers.
Great numbers. We did ring the bell with someone else. We'll play that when we come back to keep moving along with baseball. We did get
Can't
one.
Believe you bailed on Rooker.
Yeah, I didn't play.
What's happening here today?
Bad job by me.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple of days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, like, how do we account for that in our handicapping? Like, 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers, because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Their team total is 19.5 wins. I told you to go under, and it's by far the best bet I have recommended on this network in 4 years. They can't get out of their own way. And now Sloot is out for the year. Let's hope Sloot gets back, because I respect the hell out of Sloot, and I want her to go out on her own terms. Hopefully we'll have her back for the 26th season.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not to go to an organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course and okay, safe, right?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So I lost a bet on the Guardians last night. Toronto kicked their ass, and your boy George Springer still getting involved for Toronto.
He got involved for me, that's for sure. Blue Jays beat Cleveland 10-6. Ringing the bell in a big way was George Springer with the Granny Smith Grand Slam on Sportsnet Toronto.
And a high fly ball to deep left center field. It's gone! A grand slam for George Springer. And that 2-run lead is now up to 6. It is 10-4 here in the 8th.
Second one's $1. That was incredible. Springer putting up big numbers last night for the Jays. And I'll tell you what, I was sitting there thinking about this team today, and after I lost money on them, that they beat me, and I'm like, there's a team that they look like a playoff team to me. They look like a wild card at the worst, Mike. And they talk about Tampa is so far up the Yankees took us. Toronto's right there as well, and I think they're a dangerous team, obviously, and they got the pitching and the hitting, and they can beat anybody, and they're starting to look to me like at least a wild card.
Yeah, they have that makeup. I'm interested tonight. We're going to do tonight's games in a little bit, but they have Scherzer coming back, who, of course, hasn't pitched since the opening week of the season when he had that thumb issue. So we'll see if they get anything out of him because they could use some more gas in that rotation moving forward.
They're already
Mariners,
a wild card.
Yeah, they're in the spot right now. Mariners beat the Twins 6-5 last night. Mariners staying hot. And part of that is their bullpen, too. 0.92 ERA over their last 12 games. 31 Ks, 8 walks. They're holding teams to a 149 batting average out of the pen. So some really good pitching from Seattle. Brian Wu, only starter in the majors this year to have 15 starts of 6 or more innings pitched. He has done that in every start he has made so far this year. Good job by Brian Wu.
Do you think, I just want to ask you about that team. So they've been, they're so hot and cold. When they run hot, they're heat or city. When they're cold, they're, falling below 500. Do you think that I'm just going to ask Flush right now. That's the press play I'm interested in. Do they sweep the Twins and finish them off tonight at Target.
Yes. Yes, they do.
I love that bet.
like
I really do. I
like
love
them
that
tonight.
bet. And Kirby's Dreamland. I love it.
Yeah, I think they do take care. Because when, like you say, when they're at their hottest, they smash everybody. And I think that they'll do the same thing this evening. The Rays, of course, seems like they never lose anymore either. They beat the Royals 5-1 last night in Kansas City. Cards beat the Cubs 8-7. The only thing I saw in that game, first of all, the ball's flown out in St. Louis the last 2 nights. Did you see Pete Crow not know how many outs there were and allowing the guy to score from second on the sac fly? That's a fail by Pete Crow on that one. Astros beat the Phillies 1-0 last night. Hell of a pitching matchup between Framber Valdez and Ranger Danger Suarez. Scoreless in the 8th when the immortal Cooper Hummel unties it on Space City Home Network.
In the air, center field. Rojas going back near the wall. That ball's gone! Cooper Hummel! 1-0 Astros! Breaks the pitcher's duel here in the 8th.
Yeah, and remember yesterday, I went for it with the Phillies and Suarez in that game, and they lost 1-0. That was a bad beat.
Just couldn't find any offense anywhere. And the Dodgers took them a little while, but they eventually found some offense in Colorado. 9-7, they beat the Rockies. Why not? Ohtani just absolutely loves smashing the Colorado Rockies. He was at it again last night on Sportsnet LA.
Deals. Ohtani swats it in the air to left field, pushing back to the wall. This ball is out of here. So Shohei feasts again against Colorado. A 2-run blast to make it 8-3 Dodgers.
Yeah, I had them on the run line, and they covered again last night, the Dodgers. And, we're sitting here talking about the Rockies. They've never won back-to-back home games this year. That's crazy in itself. Their record is just horrible. And, you just can't bet on them. When you go rogue and bet on them, you better be ready because they rarely win. And it's hard to pick games that they cover in. We've done it a couple times here. We've been able to pick some fat numbers on the Rockies when they do win, but it's very seldom.
Here we go at Oakmont. Let's start with the course. What do we know about this course? How long is the rough, and does course history come into effect for you this week?
The U.S. Open has always been billed as the most difficult test of golf there is on the planet. And I tell you what, it's often labeled as the most difficult golf course in the world is Oakmont.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
We don't want you playing here. Can you move positions? Do something else. He starts the season like 0 for 150, it felt like, and finally finds himself in a groove at the plate, hitting 272. 15 home runs on the season? Now he's shipped to San Francisco.
What is management going to do? Nobody who's paying you $313.5 million is going to hear anything from you. They'll figure out a way to get rid of you, and that's exactly what they did.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Every 5 days, it's really exciting when Skeens pitches, and it's terrible watching him pitch because every time he pitches, they don't score.
Having him hit the lineup probably would actually help when he pitches. There's no way to do it because you can't, but yeah, it's beyond frustrating. And the numbers will tell you, the books have adjusted.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Dialing it back to his old days with St. Louis and Arizona. Buy or sell, Goldie will finish top 7 in fantasy first baseman.
No, I'm going to say no. I think he'll fall off. Older player here, he'll be top 10, but not top 7 here. Top 10, I would say I buy it. Top 7, I'm going to say no here. I think he'll put up decent numbers here. Not as good as he was. I don't think he's going to bat 340, 350 all year long.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.